Ken can
Technically,
say
you
he
did as
went.
well.
Yeah.
International.
That's great. Don't be alarmed, but I'm going to stream you on YouTube for the world to see right now.
Oh, should have done my hair.
All right. Have a good time, guys.
Bye.
All right. So as long as you're here, are you teaching this semester from Ireland?
I am not.
Okay. So you don't have any immediate Zoom needs, is what you're saying. But
I do not.
yeah. But do you have any when you do return, do you have any is there anything about Zoom that didn't work for you last year when you were using it during COVID, or anything that you have, that you wish was better, or that you could, things that happened in your Zoom sessions that you had concerns about, those sorts of things?
I guess my main thing was I always felt like I needed an assistant, somebody to watch the chat while I was doing things.
Like a Zoom jockey.
Yeah.
So could you make that a role in your class? Could you have a student take on that role maybe? I love that idea.
We kind of informally ask students, will somebody just keep an eye on the chat?
Yeah.
And
so that's the main thing, the chat?
Yeah, because you try to be here and engaged and explaining things, and then the chat's just flying by, and sometimes it's 12 people saying, I can't see your screen. So rather than them coming on and saying you need to flip the screen or something. The poll was kind of clunky.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be nicer now. Sounds like the updates will help.
Yeah. I think on that's getting back to that Zoom jockey idea, it would be interesting to craft that, to come up with some responsibilities for that person. So there's the chat, and then if you use breakout rooms, it's always nice to have somebody kind of moving people around, kind of shepherding them to their different rooms. And I'm just thinking out loud whether there are other responsibilities that a person in that position might have. We'll have to mull that over a little bit. But I think giving...
That was one place that I had an issue when I did breakout rooms. Like I set up breakout rooms ahead of time. And then when we got in there and I hit launch the breakout rooms, there were people that weren't assigned to one.
Yeah. So typically that happens because they're not signed in with their star IDs. So when you create the breakout rooms ahead of time and you do it by email address, they have to be logged into their client using their star ID credentials, or it won't know who they are. And so those people will be abandoned so if they come in and in the participants list, they have guest in parentheses after their name, that means they're not signed in using their star ID credentials. And that would cause that. The doing breakout rooms ahead of time is a little flaky in that it kind of gets people to the first place they need to go, but then it's hard to get them to the second place. Like if you move them around from one breakout room to another, if you just keep them in one breakout room for the entire time, the entire session, then it's more effective doing it ahead of time like that. The other thing, I don't know if you know this, because this is a relatively new feature, is you can now choose your own breakout room as a participant. So you didn't used to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So that makes it a lot easier in large groups if you can just say, okay, show them a list on the screen of who's supposed to go where, or do it ahead of time, like in D2L, tell them, okay, if you're in group 1, you're going to be in the group 1 breakout room when we meet, that sort of thing.
You can label them though now, can't you? You
Mhm.
can label your breakout rooms into like the cardiac, the kidney, the whatever.
Yeah. The other thing you can do is change the names of those things on the fly, and you didn't used to be able to do that. So once the breakout rooms are open, you can actually rename them in vivo. So if you need to switch them up midway through your session, you can do that, which is kind of nice without having to recreate everything all over again.
Okay.
I don't know if you use breakout rooms a lot, if you were caught by that limitation where you want to record what's going on in the breakout room. So you can do that, but the recording is always stored locally. And so there's no to the cloud recording option.
Oh,
And so a student in the breakout room would need to be responsible for, initiating the recording, and then it would be saved to her computer, and then she would have to upload it to her like MediaSpace account for you to be able to see it or somebody else to be able to see it. So it can be done. It just needs to be handled that way. A little differently than in the main area. So when you press record in the main area, you can choose to the cloud, and it goes to the host's cloud account, which is probably what you're familiar with.
okay.
So
Good to know.
yeah.
What
Yeah.
about using, like for research, for interviews, when you're interviewing people?
Mm-hmm.
We could be able to do this one-on-one, record it, and then when it goes to MediaSpace, it will be able to transcribe it for me, right?
Right. In fact, it does that in Zoom as well. So it'll do voice to text in Zoom, and then it definitely does it automatically when it gets copied over to MediaSpace.
Okay.
So yeah, and I actually think the MediaSpace transcription is a little more accurate. So and it's probably more accurate than, if you haven't used it for a while, than what you experienced previously. So it's pretty good. You may have to go in and adjust the transcription, like especially in nursing, if you're using nursing lingo, you might have to go in and do some spell check, on some things. But and you know how to do that, right?
Yeah.
Have you done that? Yeah. Okay.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. What else? Any other challenges you faced in the Zoom world?
No, not that I can think of right now.
That's
You had
good.
mentioned that there were other new things with the updates.
Yeah. So let me think here. There's a couple, and again, I don't know what's new for you, but things that have happened recently. Let me make you a co-host here. I don't know if you're familiar with all of the stuff that you can now do under the security button. If you click security, some of this might be new to you. So you have the ability to turn things off and on from the security button here.
Okay.
You can suspend everybody's activities all at once. So all of this stuff might be helpful if you've got people messing around in the room, and you don't, it may be your own students, and you want to just say, okay, that's enough of that. I'm taking everybody's permissions away, or I'm going to mute everybody, and I'm not going to let you turn your mics on for a while because I want to talk. So you can turn off the unmute themselves option there, or even the start video option, and prevent them from displaying their video. Which if you're using this for research, A couple of things you might want to think about is, that anonymity, and the obvious sort of self-awareness that people have when they're displaying their video. You can manipulate that as a researcher. The other thing is we do have special Zoom rooms that are HIPAA compliant, it's a special thing you have to ask for. And so if you ever have a need for that, if you're ever in doing some counseling, or there's some highly confidential private information that's being discussed, let us know. And then we can set you up with these much more secure sessions that you can use.
So the question arises, what makes them HIPAA compliant?
A lot of it is what happens on the back end in terms of reporting and recording, and knowing who's in there, being able to identify who's in the session. There's some stuff going on under the hood in terms of the data that is saved on Zoom servers, and then security in terms of what you have to do to get into the session. So it's not as loosey-goosey in terms of giving you options of protecting the session. The sessions are protected by default. So much more secure. And nothing is being archived or saved, or that sort of thing, like it would be in a normal Zoom session. If you record it, that recording is saved in a certain place, and various people have access to it besides you, and that sort of thing. So yeah. But if you have questions, I can send you the brief on it if you want to look at the fine print, in terms of what it does do.
I don't think that I would have to do anything HIPAA related.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a couple of changes that are kind of subtle over on the participants, or on the chat side. For example, when you chat now, your avatar is presented alongside what you're saying. So if you have a profile picture, that shows up. We talked about ways that you can kind of spice up the chat a little bit. And so they've sort of made it a little bit more inviting, and personalized on the chat side. Is there any major differences on the share screen stuff? Seems like I'm missing something. Oh, I know what.
Share to breakout rooms is new.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, you have much more control over what's happening in the breakout rooms now as a host, which is nice. There's a new immersive view. If you click on view up top in the upper right corner, do you see that it says speaker, gallery, and immersive? Do you see that?
Nope.
Or do I?
Mine's a speaker, gallery, and full screen.
Yeah, I think I might be the only one who can see that. But let me show you what it is, and then you can try it out. So I'll just use this. This is kind of a nice. So I don't know if you've seen this in other tools, but you can have this sort of background. Do you see that? You see that?
No.
Huh, how come you don't see it? Have you
Oh,
updated
now I do.
Oh yeah.
Now I do.
Here, let me choose a different one. Let me choose a different one. So there are a bunch of immersive. What's this one? It looks like a ski. Oh, that's cute. It's a
Okay,
nice little
so
ski
so
lot.
do you, I see.
So there's different backgrounds that allow you to arrange people in different arrangements. So let me do this one. This is more of a classroomy one. So you could have, instead of having students in tiles across the top, you can have them in little chairs, you know.
Oh
And
my
then
gosh.
I can drag and drop students. So I could kind of put them where I wanted them in this display.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's just as host. Co-host can't do it because I'm not able to move people.
No, here, I can make you a host and then you
And
can.
then, no, you don't have to. That's okay.
You get it.
Yeah. So then the students would see it this way?
Yes. Yeah. Another one here. Just because they're fun. Here, this is more of a clinicky looking thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then if you have, you know, if you have, like you have your kind of a green screen effect going behind you. So it's works better if you do that. So let me do that. Can I?
Why do I have a green screen effect going on behind me? It's nothing I've done.
Yeah, you must have that set up in your background filters setting.
Oh, okay.
Do you know how to get to that? So if you click on the little up arrow next to stop video and you go into video settings.
Oh,
See
stop
that?
video.
So there's
Video
a little up
settings.
arrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you go to background and filters, this is where you would find that the different filters and stuff.
So mine just says none.
Yeah, if you click on, yeah, so if you have none, like here, I'll turn mine to none. See, now it uses the background. It removes the background. It does the best that it can to remove your background. If you had a green screen behind you, or if there was like a wall that was one color behind you, it would be nicer, would work better. And the other thing that helps is if you have lighting on your face so that your foreground can be distinguished from your background. And so I've got a light shining on my face. And so it's not bad for me. Can I make myself bigger? I think I can. Right. I got to try this now.
If you slouch, you get.
No, look, I can, wait, I should be able to resize myself. I don't know why it doesn't stick. That's weird. Anyway, can I make you big?
So what happens when we have more than 6 people? Will they add chairs?
No. So when you pick one of these backgrounds, there's a little number next to it that says how many it accommodates. And it ranges from 2 to the largest one is 25. And so if you had a bigger one than that, it would be, I think it will allow you to like go, either allows you to move over or it just won't accommodate that number of people.
Yeah, because this doesn't fit one of my classes, so it would have to be 2 screens, but it could do that still. Okay, yeah. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Then we don't see everybody's cats in the background.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Stop. There we go. And then you know how to play music in your Zoom sessions?
I do.
Yeah.
Share screen.
That's always good. Yep.
No.
Share screen. Well, there's a couple of things under share screen. So if you click share screen and open up that window, at the bottom of that window are some check boxes that a lot of people miss. So share sound, optimized for video clip, And then share to breakout rooms is a new feature there. So that would allow you to share whatever you're sharing to your breakout rooms. Share sound would just allow your system sounds to play.
Oh, okay.
And then if you click on the advanced tab up at the top, you can also choose computer audio there. And then that will play, you know, if you were playing Spotify on your computer or something like that, people would hear it in the background while other stuff was happening. So you could have some music going prior to your class starting.
Good, because that's what I missed out on last year too. I like to have music to kind of set the tone. And I feel like if you got something upbeat, that starts the class a little differently. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So give that a try. Basically, when you choose computer audio, then any sound that's happening on your computer, people in the meeting would be able to hear it. So if you've got, you know, Spotify going or Pandora going or something like that, that would.
Okay.
What did I just do? All right. Yeah, give that a whirl. So I think there's a lot of ways that you can make Zoom meetings more enjoyable. And you know, obviously engaging your students and getting them to start, you know, to participate in all of this is important. And so, just like sort of the entertaining them piece of it, there's things that you can do as an instructor, but then don't hesitate to, you know, maybe let one of your students share her musical interlude one class period, or like they could choose the you know,
DJ,
the
I guess
break
DJ.
music, right? Yeah,
yeah, that's kind of risky though.
it is. Yeah, I'm sure they'll be good. All right. Anything else that I can
No.
go over? All right. Okay, well, I hope you're having a good time in Ireland.
Oh, we are.
That's great.
It's about 60 degrees warmer than what you have right now. So of course we're having a good time. So thanks so much, Ken.
All right, bye.
Okay, bye.